Good morning, good morning. This is Jacqueline with the Simmons, JJ Diamond, Jackie, Deja, whatever y'all call me. I want to thank God for being alive another day. Um, Alexa's acting crazy, so I'm going to leave her alone. That way she won't interrupt me. We don't know the weather this morning, but she's doing some blinking. I don't know what the problem is, but I'll deal with her later. It might be for the best. God made it say, no, I don't want no interruptions on this one. So maybe that's why it's not working, and I'm not going to reset it. So you just don't know the weather. We know it's sunny outside. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Today, I want to talk about alcoholism. I had experienced something, what was it, Saturday morning? I believe so. I went to the store to get some breakfast, and I had ran into these two guys, and I was telling them about my products. It was funny because I was actually talking to someone else, and I had mentioned to them, I said, it's hard for me to, how can I explain it? Y'all know that saying that Biggie said, don't get high on your own supply. Well, the Diamond Way bath salt is something that I use on a daily basis, and I'm also presenting it to you guys. So it's like, okay, even with bath salt, okay, we look at drugs, but even with bath salt, it can be very costly for the person that's using it, you know what I'm saying, and selling it. However, I was talking to someone else, a person that owns a store, and they was asking me how sales was going, and I was letting them know, and I said, it's becoming expensive for me because I use the product every day too, and by me using the product every day, and I'm trying to sell the product too, that means I have to buy double the product. So I was trying to figure out a way where I won't lose because I'm using the product too. So, I came to the conclusion what I'm going to start doing is actually pay for the product myself, like I was a customer, because it's going to dampen my pockets, constantly dipping into the product. Okay, same with, back in the day when there used to be drug dealers, and they say, like Biggie said, don't get high on your own supply, because if you do, you're going to lose. That's just what it is, and a lot of people either get on drugs because of something like that, or if they've been introduced to the drug or the product and they like it, it can become very, it can hurt you. I'm going to just give it to y'all straight. It can hurt you. However, when I was talking to him about this, the guys walked in and they heard me talking to him. So they was like, they heard the I said, how I was telling the store owner, how back in the day when they, sold crack, they say don't get high on your own supply. So he walked right in when I said the word crack. And he said, you sell crack? And I said, no. I said, no, I don't sell crack. He said, oh, I heard the word crack. I said, yeah. I said, no, we was talking about something. And then, of course, I had to explain it over to all over to them so they can understand what me and him was talking about. However, I explained to them, where they can get my products at and what my products are used for, whatever the case may be. And long story short, the guy went outside. I was still talking to the store owner. The guy went outside and they stood there and they waited, and I was like, okay, this is kind of strange, and I'm like, are they waiting to talk to me? What is this about? So at first, especially when you're in this music thing, you're always weary about certain people. And even with the music, you got to be weary about certain people anyway. That's just the way the world is today. You never know if somebody wants to hurt you or snatch you, or you just don't know. However, I said, well, I can't stand here, forever. I could fight. So, I'm not going to worry about that. I'll fight my way until somebody come out these stores and help me out. But I gotta leave. I gotta go home. So I walked out the store, and of course they was there to talk to me. And one guy was just talking about my products. He wanted to know a little bit more about it and where he can get it from, because he said, he experiences, certain things that it will help him with. So I explained to him where he can go to purchase the product. And then the other guy, he said to me, he said, well, I don't want to say it wrong. He looked at me and he said, how can I stop drinking? And I said, huh? And I just looked at him. And he said, I want to stop drinking. So it kind of like froze me for a moment, and I'm like, okay. So I looked at his face. I saw his face was flushed, He said, you don't smell it? And I said, well, I have bad allergies, and this is allergy season. I'm out here with all these trees. I can't smell anything. So, he said, but I want to stop drinking. How can I stop drinking? I said, well, just stop. And then he just looked at me. Alcoholism is a physical thing more than a mental thing, And he just looked at me like, it's not as easy as you think, and I'm not like, okay. And I get it, So I told him, I said, you need to detox. That's number one. You got to get that stuff out your system so your body can stop craving it. So he said, okay, so what do I get to detox? So I told him some things to go in the market and buy. We was right next to the market. And then when I was telling him some stuff, his friend looked at him and said, see, I told you that's the stuff that you need to get. And because I guess his friend was already telling him like what to do, but maybe he didn't believe it, And he had told him, he said, you need to get you some vinegar, some apple cider vinegar, and drink a lot of water, And when you're going through, like withdrawals and stuff, the best thing to do is sleep, And it's hard, especially when it's people that's working, or just out and about, just doing a lot of things. It's really, really hard to fight that battle, But my main mistake that I didn't tell him, which kind of pissed me off when I got back, was you need prayer. You have to pray, okay? I told him everything he needed to do to try to help him get through that process, but the prayer of God, So I was like angry with myself, I was like, what is wrong with you, However, I said a prayer for him, so hopefully God will cover him and help him get through them trying days and trying nights. The reason why, we need to talk about alcoholism is because it kills you, and it just kills you slowly, okay? We all talk about suicide, and, some people like to do it fast, and some people like to do it slow, okay? Granted, yeah, they made alcohol legal. Why? Because alcohol is in the Bible. People drank alcohol in the Bible. So we get why they made it legal. It was going to be a profit for our country. Okay, because everyone drinks alcohol. Even the government, they drink alcohol. When the president came in to office, they have a dinner and they have some champagne, after dinner. Or before dinner. I don't know what they do. Okay. But this is what we are all brought up on. Alcohol when we party. Okay? We got to have alcohol. We got to feel a certain kind of way in order to enjoy our event or our gatherings. Okay? Liquor is always the main source of a gathering. Always. It's always been. Everybody needs to feel slowed down. Okay? And some people, it speeds them up. Me, I'm going to use myself for instance. I used to drink, a lot. Not a lot. I'm not going to say I was one that drank from morning to night. No, that wasn't me. Nighttime, when the nighttime came, I wanted to drink. Okay? I started off drinking corn liquor. Me and one of my friends, we used to steal their mother's corn liquor, and we would drink that. It went from that to then I needed Bacardi. I started drinking Bacardi. And it upgraded to champagne. From champagne, I went to Hennessy, and then I went back to champagne, and then, of course, I got introduced to the wines, okay? Now, liquor and wine can have a similar effect, but wine will make you more sleepy depending on how much you drink, okay? And the difference about wine and liquor is wine makes you really, really hot inside, like external hot. It's like, ugh. You start sweating, if your body can't take it and your body needs to get it out fast, But wine has tannins in it, So this is why wine is a little bit better than liquor. Some liquors have tannins in it as well, okay? However, we wonder why we get sick sometime when we drink alcohol. Why do we get sick? Reason why we get sick is because we have alcohol poisoning. Now, granted, I have never physically thrown up from alcohol. Never. Main reason, old man told me, it's always these old men, and they always running into me telling me something. He said, I was coming out the liquor store, I'll never forget it. And he said to me, you about to drink that? I said, yeah. Me and my friends. And he was like, well, you better eat you some bread. He said, did you eat today? I said, yeah. He said, He said, okay. He said, you better get you some bread. And I said, some bread? He said, make sure you eat some bread before you start drinking. And I said, they cutting the grass outside, y'all, so it's kind of loud. He said, get you some bread. So, I ate bread. I ate about 6 slices of bread straight up, no, nothing on it, just bread. And, I started turning up the Bacardi, I noticed I didn't have no headaches. I was able to continue to drink as much as I wanted, without feeling sick. Okay. The yeast in the bread does something to the alcohol. I don't know what it does, but it helps absorb the alcohol, so it won't make you more intoxicated than you would normally get. However, I did notice that even when I ate the bread, my body was able to take in a lot of alcohol. Okay. One night I had a party in the Bronx on, what street is that? Oh, geez, I can't even remember the street. Is it under the train near the almost near Yankee Stadium? I had a party. And every time one of my friends came in, I had this party for my birthday. Every time one of my friends came in, they bought me a drink. Because they used to like to see me dance, So I'll sit down and I'll be like, I'm tired of dancing now. And as soon as one come in, they like, you ain't dancing? Like, nah, you need a drink. So they would go to the bar, what you drinking? Give her a drink. I'll turn that up and hit the floor, to make, my friends happy, So, long story short, that particular night, I was like, that drinking, it was like too much. I was like, that was the first time in my life where I think I had a hangover, but I didn't throw up. I just had a bad, bad headache. I mean, my head was like, I couldn't get out the bed, that whole day. I was so sick. And I told myself, why do I want to drink so much to where it's going to shut my body down? I just told myself that, so I started slowing down on the alcohol level. So then I started drinking some Hennessy. Hennessy was my drink. I drank Hennessy. I was good. I didn't get no headaches. I was good. I didn't get too drunk where I couldn't handle myself. I was good. I felt like that was my drink. I was able to focus. However, it came to a time where, y'all know I have stomach issues. It started bothering my belly, Now, all this happened when I was young, y'all. I just recently fully stopped drinking altogether, okay, when I came to Charlotte, okay. When I was in Maryland, I would drink wine, okay, and it wouldn't be no whole cup of wine. It would just be maybe about an inch of wine. I would turn that up, and that would be that, When I first got to Maryland, I was into the champagne thing, because Moet is another one of my drinks. Champagne doesn't give the same effect as liquor and wine, so I was always that one. Give me some champagne. I'm not doing that liquor. That's too much for me. So I said to myself, I said, okay, well, I'm going to stick to my champagne. When people tell me, oh, what you drink, and I'm like, I'm looking at them, and I would say, oh, I drink Moet. And they're like, Moet, that's too expensive. We trying to buy some liquor. And I'm like, well, this is what I drink. So if you offering, don't offer if you're not sure, whether or not you could afford it. Because, yeah, there's people out here that only drink champagne, They couldn't understand it, but that was my thing. So when I wanted to drink, I would drink the champagne. I buy it myself, and say, forget it. Y'all drink that liquor, I'll drink the champagne. So now I'm stuck with drinking champagne. Some people will say, okay, let me get a cup. But then most of the time I'm stuck drinking a whole bottle of Moet by myself. And I wouldn't get all drunk where I'm falling down like how they would because they drinking hard liquor. And I'm drinking champagne. So I'm looking at them like I'm having a good time, and they falling over and could barely stand up and throwing up. And I'm like, ugh, see, I can't do y'all, because y'all make a person sick. Y'all throwing up make me sick just looking at y'all, you know what I mean? Then they don't know what they doing. They just doing all kind of stuff. And you just looking at them like, why? Why you got to put yourself through this? And that be the same person that'll wake up the next morning and say, let's get something to drink. Okay? I just couldn't understand it. And I tell you, I moved over to the wine. I had stopped drinking for a long time when I had first started working at Frito because I needed to focus. I didn't have time to be worrying about, I need a drink on Friday. I needed to focus and make sure, because on Fridays, for me, was a regular work day because I had to go to work Saturday morning, early Saturday morning, okay? I had to be to work 4 or 5 a.m. So ain't nobody drinking on Friday and trying to get up on Saturday and go to work. It's not happening. And my money was too good for me to mess it up. So I said, you know what? That's coming up out my life. If I want to go home on Friday and turn on my music and party a little bit, before I go to bed or whatever, that's fine. But for me to be drinking and get up late on Saturday morning, it wasn't fitting in my lifestyle. So I just couldn't, I put it down. I told myself, no more. So then it got to the point, excuse me, my allergies are bothering me this morning. It got to the point where some days I was having sleepless nights because, anything that you do too much, your body gets immune. So my body was very, very active. So if I went to work, say, at 4 a.m., and I didn't do much work this day because I did a whole lot the day before, the day, And this particular day, I'm just pretty much merchandising. My body ain't getting enough, activity. So I'll go home, and here it is, 12 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still woke. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, oh, my God. I got to go to sleep because I got to be up in 3 hours. But I wouldn't go to sleep. So now I went to work, came home, stayed up all night, and now I'm going back to work. Okay? You can't function like that when you're driving for a living. So I said, oh, no, this is not going to work. So I had told, this is why I tell people, always talk to somebody sometime. You're not going through anything that somebody else hasn't been through. Okay? So it's okay to pull a person to the side and say, you know what? this is what I'm going through. You know how I can help myself? There's nothing wrong with that. Just like the guy did to me. He pulled me to the side and said, please help me. I'm trying to help myself, And this particular person, that I spoke to said, why don't you take you a little bit of wine, and drink a little bit of wine at night. When you get home after you do what you got to do with your kids, drink you some wine and go to sleep, after you take your bath and everything. And I'm like, okay. So I tried it. It worked. Okay. And I slept like a baby. I was like, okay, this is it right here. But after a while, guess what? That wine at night wouldn't work. So now I need more. I'm like, okay, I need more. I need a whole cup now. Okay. And I'm drinking, turning this wine up, and I'm like, oh, it's tasty, and then I'm getting a little drowsy. And I saw myself getting immune to that as well, that whole cup. Now I want 2 cups. Okay, now it's time to slow it down. This is where you have to be in control of your life, okay? People think it's okay to just continue to indulge. And that's what it's called, being indulgent. Being greedy, okay? Similar. Where you have to shut it down and tell yourself, no, you've had enough, okay? I don't want you guys that's already been out there drinking because y'all have had the effects of it. Y'all know what it feels like. And, this is what y'all want to do when y'all go out to the clubs, okay? But I'm going to tell y'all some stories of things and people that I know that has went through similar things, and it was all because of alcohol, okay? And things that I've seen, okay? I'm going to tell y'all about that in a minute. Well, when I saw myself going to 2 cups of wine, I had to shut it down. No more, okay? The next day, that night, I did not drink any wine at all. I went a whole week without drinking wine and then went back to it. Okay, I had to give my body a rest. We always have to give our bodies a rest. From any medications, just like I was telling y'all about what my allergies. Okay, I take Zyrtec. Okay, and with this Zyrtec get me high as a kite, y'all. Ooh, I be high. Okay, I be high, but I need it. Okay, so I didn't want to start out taking a whole pill because eventually, I would say maybe a month later, I'll be able to pop a whole pill and I don't get high no more. Okay? So the effects of that particular side effect will go away. It's gone. Okay? That means my body has gotten immune to it. And then we'll go maybe 30 to 60 more days and my body will get immune to the whole pill. It won't work at all. Now, being that I have respiratory problems, I can't have my pills not working. Okay, they need to work. So what I started out doing was taking a little bit each day, okay, to wean my body into the actual medication, which made it last longer. Now, I'm almost immune, y'all. I can take almost a whole pill. I don't get all high. Well, I do get high still. But eventually, within the next 30 to 60 days, my body is going to be like I didn't take anything. And I've been doing this so long with this medication, with this allergy medication, so I know how it works. Then I have to find another allergy medication to work with, okay? I've been told loratadine I'm allergic to, so I can't take that no longer. There's only Allegra. And there's the Zyrtec. So I will have to go and switch over to Allegra for a little while and then come back to the Zyrtec, okay? Allegra makes me feel okay, but it has a lot of side effects as well. So with that being said, I have to go through the process of the side effects with the Allegra as well. The process starts all over for me. The same with alcohol, okay? Your body goes through the process. Difference is These pills is to help me be able to get through my allergies and be able to breathe. Okay, because if my allergies get too bad, my lungs start to shut down on me. Okay, so that's something that I have to pay attention to on a regular basis. I have to stay focused. Okay, so this is why I let alcohol go altogether, because I don't have time to be worried about what the alcohol effect is going to do to me, because I got to worry about the effect of my allergies. And, you know, I may forget to take my allergy medication because I've been drinking. Next thing you know, I have to get my asthma pump, or my albuterol, because I don't have asthma, I have bronchitis. Or next thing you know, I'm on a nebulizer because I can't breathe. Okay? So, with that being said, I try to stay focused enough that I can keep my body right so I don't have to go to that extent. But sometimes my body just say, hey, it's just not working. And what do you do at 2 o'clock in the morning and you wake up and you're coughing, and you can't breathe? You know, yeah, you can call an ambulance, but they're going to take forever to get there, when all you got to do is take the either the nebulizer or the pump and get a couple of puffs and you back normal. I try to stay away from that because the side effects of that is crazy too. However, it's the same with alcohol, y'all. You have to stay focused and be able to tell yourself, when you see that your body is changing and it's not the same, to let it go. Now, the thing with alcohol hurts not only your kidneys, it hurts your liver, and it hurts your brain. Okay? Y'all know how it affects your brain because it slows your brains down. That's why you got to be falling down, moving slow. And I love Lloyd Banks. Your brain is like cheese or something. I can't say the verse, right out. But he is so funny. Some of the things that he be saying when he be talking about people, I be cracking up. Because I love Banks. But he tell it like it is, Your brain is like cheese. Look at you. You can't stand up. You can't help yourself. Why would you want to drink if this is the person that you're going to be, where you're helpless and you're preying on people helping you? But this is where people can take advantage of you. And you don't even know it. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell y'all some stories about alcoholism, people that I know, even some of my family. I'm going to tell y'all this too. Now, my mom, I'm using my mom, she never felt like she had alcoholism. But, we the family, we knew. She had another excuse for why this and why that. And, we was trying to get her to go and get help for years. But she wasn't listening. And with that being said, she used to always tell me, well, Jackie, see, I drink the water. She never put anything in. My mother was a brandy drinker, and she would drink her brandy straight up. And I said, Mom, how can you do that? And I used to drink the Hennessy straight up. But I said, don't burn your stomach. And she said, no, because the Hennessy started burning my stomach. She said, no, I drink water, a lot of water behind it. She always have her water bottle right next to her brandy. And I said, oh, okay. So you water it down? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. That was her excuse to say that the liquor wasn't hurting her. Okay. And I said, okay, Mom. I'm just trying to understand, because I don't have, the need to drink every single day. I used to back in the day when I was young, but now that I'm older, I don't have that need. So I'm trying to understand where you're going with this and how you're feeling. Now, my grandmother, she was one that used to drink every single day. Okay. I watched my grandmother fall down. I watched my grandmother beat people up. I watched my grandmother do all kind of stuff while she was drunk, okay? And when she died, they said that she didn't physically even have a liver. It had dried up so much that it was like a prune in her body. It's heartbreaking thinking about it. You know what I mean? This is what she did to herself each and every single day. I remember my grandmother getting up every single day drinking. She would do all kind of things, okay, while she was drunk. And then she would not sometimes remember the things that she did. I'm going to tell you the story she did. And one of her friends. Okay. She had one friend. He would come and they would drink, And then she had another friend that would come like towards the evening. I guess he worked, so he would come towards the evening and she'd drink again. But this particular person was drinking and he had got shot. So they sent him to the hospital. And being that my grandmother was his best friend, he came to her because he didn't live with us. He would always come every evening, chill out, and then he would leave. So he got shot. They took him to the hospital. Now, when you go to the hospital and get shot, they're giving you all different type of medications, because they got to sew you up, get the bullet out, whatever the case may be. He had already had alcohol in his system. But they couldn't remove the bullet, okay? This happened the day before, okay? It wasn't that bad where he was, out of it. They only shot him one time, and it was I think it was a 22, because it was a small bullet, and they couldn't get it out. They just passed up his hole or whatever the case may be. And like I said, he was drunk. Plus, he had medications from the hospital, so he was taking all this stuff. He was so high. And he was smoking a cigarette. And he fell off to sleep on my grandma's couch and lit her couch up on fire. Okay, now my grandma drunk too, but she, she's alert because she drink every day. She getting immune to this stuff. So I smell something burning. Well, the couch was on fire with him on it. His hair was on fire. Everything was on fire. Anyway, my grandma had just bought this couch. And she had just bought this couch. And the firemen came in. They put the fire out, but they chopped up the couch and threw it out the window. And my grandmother just dropped to her knees. And she was crying and everything. And she grabbed him and took him towards the window to throw him out the window right behind the furniture. But the furniture went out the side window. She was dragging him to the front window. But she was drunk. Okay? And she tried to throw him out. And the firemen stopped her, and I was stopping her. Grandma, no, you're going to kill him. And she was like, that's the point. I want to kill him. And we were looking at her like, no, Grandma, no, you can't kill a man. And like I said, we stopped her. The firemen stopped her. And the next day, she didn't remember. She didn't remember. She knew her couch was burnt up because it wasn't there. She remembered the fire, but she don't remember grabbing him and taking him to the window to throw him out the window. The point that I'm trying to make here is alcohol make you do things that you don't remember, okay, which can affect your life. Now, first we talked about what it does to your internal organs. Now we're talking about how it can affect your life to do something else to your body or your internal organs. Or this your life period, okay? Now, my grandmother couldn't remember. And that was a big event. You know what I mean? The fire department, fire, everything was a big event, and she did not remember it because of the alcohol. I'm going to tell you a story. I was sitting outside of a bar, club. It's a club, but they sell liquor. And I went inside. My son was with me. Nate Heights, he was with me. We was actually going to meet Chris Brown at the time. And my son wasn't old enough to go in. So I had to, leave him outside and go inside. I ordered me my famous water and lemon. And they was looking at me like, I said, can I have, they said, what you like to drink? I said, water and lemon. And they just looked at me like, water, you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Just water and lemon, please. Thank you. I'm a little thirsty because it's hot in here, but that don't mean I have to have alcohol. After Chris came, we said our hellos and everything. I said, oh boy, my son is outside. Let me go outside. So I pretty much was running back and forth. So I get outside and we're sitting in the car and we chatting, I'm talking to my son. These two guys come and dump a lady, a young girl, right on the ground. They just dumped her there. Just left her. So I said, Daddy, you see this? He like, yeah. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I open up the window. Y'all know me. I was like, yo, what y'all doing? Why y'all walking away, leaving her like that? Oh, she drunk. And we don't even know. Okay, well, if y'all gonna bring her out the club, at least call her a cab and send her home. Y'all don't know where she lives. Call a hospital. Something. Do something. Just throw her out there in the street. Give her some water. So, I keep water normally in my vehicle. So I jump out and I get water. I tell them to give it to her, put it on her face so she could try to come to. She didn't come to. And they looking at me like, okay, now we caught now. We can't just walk away. Yeah, right. She can't just walk away. Because you're just throwing the girl to the streets. You shouldn't even brought her out the bar. You should have called the hospital or looked in her wallet and seen her address on her. That's why it's very important, people. And this is what pissed me off here in Charlotte. I'll tell y'all about that one day. But it's very important to have ID on you, okay, with your address. Because if anything happens to you and somebody needs to send you home or need to notify someone, they won't get notified due to the fact that your address wasn't correct on your ID. That's why that's very important. And I'm angry with Charlotte right now because they haven't did mines the way it was supposed to be. I don't know if they did it for my protection, what they did it for, but I don't like it, okay? Now, they drug her to the corner. And I mean, when I say drug her to the corner, legs on the ground, dragging her to the corner, okay? Instead of somebody trying to pick her up, they just was doing too much. And it just it's heartbreaking. This is somebody's child, okay? And I'm saying to myself, I wonder if these people are probably at home, sitting in front of their TV, watching TV, while their child is running the streets and don't know that their child is being drugged down the street, drunk. Okay, so I had to put myself not only in the position of this particular child me being a mother, I had to put myself in the thoughts of me being her as well, not knowing who at that time, who I am, where I'm at, what's going on. Anybody can take advantage of her. So the guys finally did put her in a taxi. Where did the taxi go? I don't know. So I just said a little prayer for her because that's all I can do, But my thing is, this is how people take advantage of you. They can take you home. They can rape you. There's many women that have woken up from drinking that they know something wasn't right because it feels different down there. Okay, so they're saying, I must have had sex somehow. I don't know, but I don't remember. I don't even remember the guy. Okay, you don't know what these people are doing to you. You don't know if they're using protection. You could contract a disease. HIV is one of them. Okay, because you don't remember. Why would you want to drink something that would take your memory like that? Something that would have you so down mentally that you can't even control yourself. You don't know what people are doing to you. Then there was another person that was in my life, and I had heard, and this happened twice in my life that I had heard this particular situation. Where, and both were friends, and it just hurt me to my heart When people slip them a Mickey, that they call it a Mickey, put some type of pills inside their alcohol, and you're drinking the alcohol, you think it's the alcohol that's got you feeling all crazy, and it's actually the pill that they put in there. Why would you subject yourself to something like that? Okay, yeah, granted, we have to live and learn. But this is why we tell the stories, because we want people to be aware of the things that go on around them. Now, when I go in a public setting, I still drink wine. You know, I haven't drank any since I've been here in Charlotte. However, I mean, it's not like I won't drink wine, but I would never drink it in a public setting. Because you never know when a person is out to get you or do something wrong to you because of jealousy or they just don't like you. And I need to be functionable everywhere I go. You know, so that's one of the reasons why I personally don't drink. I wasn't drinking too often when Egypt was little either. You know, unless the nanny was around. When the nanny was there, then I was able to, drink my wine every night and go to sleep. As I was telling y'all earlier, I was fine with that. But then when I didn't have no more nanny, I had to be focused because kids get sick during the night. All kind of things happen during the night for some reason. You got to wake right up out your sleep. If you're drunk, you can't do that. Okay? So that's the other thing that I think about, being sleeping so hard that you cannot function, because you've been drinking or taking so many drugs, So these are the things that I think about, and I want you guys to think about it, And you got people, they get drunk and then they throwing up all over the place. Ruining somebody else's night or high. Like, you just created yourself to be sick. Who wants to be sick? I mean, really, people. If you know that this stuff is going to make you throw up, why are you drinking it? Creating yourself to be ill. It's bad enough we already don't want to be ill when we contract different viruses and bacteria. So why would you push that on your body? Your body was fine. Your body is saying, I'm feeling good. Now here you go with this alcohol making yourself sick. Alcohol is actually a poison. Okay? And our body takes in that poison. And when the body says it's enough, it makes you throw up because it doesn't want it anymore. Your body talks to you and it says, enough. I don't want this no more. Stop. Okay? Didn't I tell you I wasn't right when you was falling over? Stop. We have to learn how to be more control in the things that we do. Even with food, we have to be in control. Self-control. Discipline. Enough to say, no, I don't want it. Because it's going to kill me. Slowly. Not only do, and I messed up in the beginning when I was saying how alcohol messes with your brains, your kidneys, your liver. It also messes with your heart as well and the way your blood pumps. Okay? Alcohol sits in the blood. And I'm going to tell you how I know. My grandmother, like I said, she would be fighting her, falling down and bust her face. And be bleeding. And you can smell it in the blood. Normally, blood don't have a smell. But when you drink alcohol, it has a nasty smell. When alcohol is coming through your pores and people can smell it, that means your body is trying to find ways to release it because it's just too much. It's just eating your body from inside out. When your face becomes flush, okay, that's inflammation setting in your head and in your brain. I know because even with my allergies, my face sometimes becomes flushed. And alcoholics' faces are flushed almost all the time. It's very hard for an alcoholic to say, go to the doctor or go to the emergency room and say, I haven't had any drinks. Because we can see it. Even if they're functional, we can see it. Their face is flushed. They may be sweating. You can smell it. Their bottom lip will start to turn pink because they have burnt up all of the pigment in their lips. Granted, we know alcohol is all around. Everywhere you go, you see alcohol. And it's legal. But it's legal enough for you to make the decision to say yay or nay. I don't want to drink. No, not today. I want to protect my organs today. Let them heal. But an alcoholic can't do that because their bodies require it because they've been doing it so long. So they just got to have that taste. Their bodies need to feel a certain way. It's like they feel normal when they have alcohol in their system. Now, we have our drinkers that will drink, just to have a good time. You got a family gathering, everybody come together and they drink. But then you have those that physically drink every single day. Every single day. And you wonder, how can they do that? They really can't. It's just that because you don't see the inside of their bodies and see that their bodies are deteriorating. You don't see that part. And then they'll be struggling with kidney issues on dialysis or the liver. Once your liver go, it's over for you. Once that's gone, you dead. It's no replacing that.